When we were dating, we lived in different states. It was his turn to visit me. My childhood cat took a turn for the worst suddenly and had to be put down that day. He was mad at me that it happened when he was visiting. He was mad that there was traffic on the drive and I had to console him while I was crying about my cat. He never expressed any empathy about my cat. He always slept with his sheets tucked in. I hate that feeling and stuck my foot out of the side and untucked mine. He said, "Now that actually frustrates me." My then 10-year-old was nervous to walk down the aisle at the wedding rehearsal. He was the ring bearer. I told him it was okay and that he could just do it on the actual day if he was comfortable. My husband did not talk to me the rest of the evening. He was so mad and yelling at me on the drive home. He wouldn't talk to me all night. He wouldn't talk to me the next morning. Everyone was in town for our wedding and he wouldn't even talk to me. I finally made him talk to me and he was so pissed off that I didn't make my son walk down the aisle to practice. I have never wanted to celebrate our wedding anniversary. It was 100% ruined by him. It's not a pleasant memory in any way. Before our wedding, I asked him to listen to 2 songs to choose one for our dance. He was mad that I was deciding between 2 and that I didn't know which one already. 7 days after we got engaged, I found him laying in a pitch-black bedroom, all alone, staring into nothing. He finally told me what was wrong. He said that I wasn't taking our engagement seriously because I hadn't booked a venue or anything yet. He thought he was the only one doing anything. He hadn't done a single thing. We went to the beach last summer. I planned to go with my in-laws and my 2 kids, and it would just be a quick trip without my husband. He insisted that he wanted to go. He started complaining the second we walked out the door. "This drive is too long, the route is stupid. I hate GPS. Why can't we stop at a gas station? The road is stupid. Then we get there and it's windy." My son was having so much fun in the hotel pool. My husband laid on a poolside chair and complained that it was windy. He was hungry and no one planned anything but him. Everyone was disorganized except him. We wanted to get pizza and have an easy night. He refused to help pick what to eat, but said he wouldn't eat pizza. He then went up to the room and didn't help plan at all, but was mad that we weren't eating. Every time it was time to eat on that trip, he would ask me what I had planned and I would say nothing, that we could all decide together. He laughed at me and said, "Of course." I woke up the next morning to him staring at me while I slept, like he was mad that I was asleep and not up planning what he would eat. We went to find a souvenir shop. He was mad that I didn't know which one he wanted to go to, too. He saw one on the way in, and I guess I was supposed to memorize where it was. My son has anxiety and gets afraid of being alone. He was showering and called for me. He said he was scared, and my husband yelled, "Too bad." I went in there anyway. But it was like this every time he showered. His grandma has a Mother's Day lunch at her house every year. He has ruined every single one for me. When my baby was 2 months old, my first Mother's Day with him, I was trying to get myself, my baby, and the food we were bringing ready. My husband laid on the couch complaining that we had to go. He didn't help with a single thing. Didn't help carry anything, nothing. Just complained. My husband has a very bad anger problem. He's mad at me at least once a week for something that has nothing to do with me. He complains about everything and then takes it out on me and the kids. Examples. He said he wanted to help me wash my car. He turned on the radio, we started, and he complained about everything. "This car is too big, I can't reach the top. Next time I'm getting a car with simpler wheels to clean. This hose is too short, it's too hot. This brush sucks, this spray sucks. I use too much soap. This radio is pissing me off, turned it off for no reason. Just on and on the entire time." If work is bad in any way, then he texts me saying he is quitting and going to find a minimum wage job because money isn't everything, and that I need to start preparing for that to happen. I will then tell him that we need to talk about different jobs for him so we can be prepared. And he says, "Don't you think I know that? I'm not a child." But then won't talk to me about it because he doesn't feel like it. But we have that conversation at least once a month. If I eat lunch or any meal without making him something, he gets mad. One time, I thought he was asleep. He was laying down with his eyes closed and had been for a while. I quietly made myself some leftovers. He came in later and said, "I guess you thought I wasn't hungry." He was so angry. We have a 1-year-old and a 12-year-old. I had to take my 13-year-old to some family 2 hours away. The 1-year-old stayed home with my husband. Before I left, he said that he hated that I was leaving. He said that because he didn't want to take care of our baby alone. After I left, he texted me saying that we weren't doing this again. When I got back, he was mad and told me I need to thank you for taking care of our son. I didn't want to say thank you, because he complained the entire time and because he is his son. He shouldn't need a thank you for taking care of his own child. I clean as much as I can throughout the week, but with the baby and the fact that I work from home, some things get left to the weekend. He voluntarily cleaned the bathrooms one Sunday. I was taking care of the baby while he cleaned. He came to me after he finished and was sulking and said, "I feel like I deserve a thank you and a hug because I've done so many chores and I don't feel like you care." I laughed. I couldn't help it. He got really mad. A couple of days ago, he came home for lunch and barely talked to me. I asked him how his morning had been, and he kind of scoffed and said fine. He replied to everything I said with one word. Then, when he got home from work for the day, he was obviously still in a bad mood, so I just greeted him and left it at that. He was quiet for a while and then said, "Aren't you going to ask me about my day?" In a very mean way, I said, "Are you going to ask me about mine?" He got mad and said in the rudest, most sarcastic tone, "How was your day, Amanda?" I just looked at him and told him that he was way too sensitive about me saying the right thing at exactly the right time, and that it wasn't fair to treat me like that when I have been nothing but caring and engaged our entire relationship. After that last one, he asked me to be intimate with him that night and said, "I know I was a jerk earlier, so I understand if you don't want to." I immediately said no, but it made me feel bad. He never actually apologized or explained. What are the odds that he will ever be better, or is he just a man-child who will never change? It's terrifyingly sad that the things I listed were some of the more tame things he has done. Those were just the more recent things. I want to clarify that he and I have been together for 4 years. My 12-year-old is from a previous marriage. This has been extremely eye-opening and cathartic. I will use this opportunity to get some of the other things he has done off my chest. It's not good. I should have left before it began. I know that now. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. This was so sad to read. You already know it's bad, so I'll just say you should leave, so your children and you can have some peace. If you don't have the strength to leave for yourself, please do it for your children. Comment 2. Girl, what the frick? Why did you make 2 kids with this loser? Damn, that really sucks. You have tolerated way too much shoot, and I think instead of leaving, you just got used to the smell of shoot. Now for the update. Thanks for sticking around to hear more about my life's chaos. So, the other day, my husband threw a fit because I forgot to buy his favorite cereal. He slammed every cupboard in the kitchen and stormed out, leaving me to calm down our crying 1-year-old. Later that day, I found out he'd gone to a bar, flirted with the bartender, and bragged about it to his friends as if it were some kind of trophy. When he came home, he acted like nothing happened. But I heard from a friend about his little adventure. It made me feel sick, but I didn't confront him. I just can't deal with another fight. Then, my 13-year-old got suspended from school for standing up to a bully. My husband blamed me, saying I'm too soft on him. But I was proud my son stood up for what's right, even if the school didn't see it that way. My husband didn't even talk to our son about it, just ranted at me. A week later, my husband's sister called. She's been having trouble with her husband, and guess who she's been confiding in? My husband. She told me he's been giving her advice on how to handle her marriage. I couldn't help but laugh at the irony. The man who can't handle his own home is playing counselor to someone else's. And then, the news. I found a receipt for an expensive necklace that I've never seen. When I asked him about it, he said it was for a work anniversary gift for his assistant. But something didn't sit right with me. I couldn't shake the feeling that he was lying. I didn't push it, though. I'm not sure I want to know the truth. The next day, my husband announced he's planning a trip for us, a second honeymoon. He's been so sweet and attentive since mentioning it, but it feels like he's trying to cover something up. I'm not excited about the trip. It feels like a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. And just when I thought things couldn't get more complicated, my husband's car broke down. He blamed me for not reminding him to take it for a service, even though that's his responsibility. He had to borrow my car, which meant I was stuck at home with the kids, missing important meetings for work. Yesterday, he came home with a new car without discussing it with me. We can't afford it, but he said it's a done deal, Now we're in more debt, and he's acting like he's done us a favor. I'm drowning in frustration, but he's oblivious, parading around like he's the man of the year. I'm tired, but I keep telling myself it'll get better. Maybe this trip will be a fresh start, or maybe I'm just fooling myself. Thanks for listening. Thanks. Am I the idiot for rejecting my father-in-law's couch and demanding an apology after he insulted my wife? So last night, my father-in-law texted my wife, her dad, in case this is confusing, asking us if we wanted this couch from one of his clients. It is a pull-out couch with a mattress, and it is really nice. We both said no because it is heavy, and we do not feel like doing another house project right now, hauling it in and out. Also, there is nothing wrong with our 2 couches we already have, which he also gave us, in this same fashion. We also have extra beds. Apparently, this is unacceptable, and we are lazy and stupid if you do not want this couch. He just wants us to have nice things. I was content to just ignore them and go on with my life. But after we put the kids to bed, my wife's mom texts her and asks her to come over. Apparently, while she was over there, they laid into her about taking this couch, and I do not know what exactly was said. So now they are dropping the couch off Thursday. I have to put one of my current couches out by the road, and they are not even helping me move it in. I have to ask my 16-year-old brother for help. When I asked my wife what the heck happened, she said, they want us to have nice things. They think we are bad with money because we live in one of their houses, and they do not like that you said it is too heavy. So I tried to stand my ground, and my wife is pleading with me to just take the couch, get rid of one of the others, and drop it and move on with no further incidents. My father-in-law is also my landlord, to whom I pay rent every month, in case that changes anything in your minds. I just think this whole thing has been extremely disrespectful, especially to my wife, because she thinks her dad is calling her stupid. His approval means nothing to me, but the world to her, and I do not know how to handle this in a way that won't rock the boat too much, but makes it clear I do not want anyone treating my family like this. Advice? Thoughts? Why can't he take the couch if he is so passionate about it? That's what I want to know too. Update. I have just spoken with my father-in-law, and everything was thrown out on the table, with my wife in the room. We said something along the lines of, we're going to take this couch because you're clearly very passionate about it. But we were not asking for a couch, nor looking for one. So please do not keep doing this. I was kind of snippy throughout the interaction because I still found him to be out of line. But when we were done telling him we would take the couch, I also ended by saying he needed to apologize to his daughter for calling her stupid. She did not deserve that at all when we were having a totally normal day beforehand. He gave her a hug and gave what I think was a heartfelt apology, said he was out of line, and hopefully that is just the end of weird furniture drama in my life. Thanks for your helpful comments, unhelpful comments, mean ones, and funny ones. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. I think I would never, ever, ever get into a real estate situation with my in-laws or parents. That is asking for trouble and for them to control your life. I would honestly start looking for another place to live so they'll treat you like grown-ups. Comment 2. Take the sofa, get rid of the old ones, and then, for God's sake, move house. These, I literally live in a house owned by my partner's parents. Why are my in-laws so up in my business posts will never cease to be baffling. Now, for the update. Thanks for your comments from last time. So, the couch arrived on Thursday, just like they said it would. My brother helped me haul the old one out and get the new one in. It was a hassle, but it's done. The thing is, it didn't stop there. The next day, my father-in-law calls me up, saying he's got a lead on a great deal for a new fridge. Our fridge is fine, but he insists that we need to upgrade. I tell him no, we're good, but he's not having it. He says he's already put a down payment on it, and it's getting delivered next week. I'm fuming at this point, but my wife, she's just quiet. She doesn't want to upset her parents, but I can tell she's not happy either. I confront her about it, asking why she won't stand up to them. She breaks down, tells me she's always been the one to smooth things over in her family. Keep the peace. She's afraid that if she stands up to them now, it'll just make things worse. I get that, but it's like we're not even living our own lives anymore. Then, out of nowhere, my brother-in-law shows up at our house. He's got this look on his face, like he's got something to say. It turns out, He's been having money troubles, and my in-laws have been helping him out. He's feeling guilty because he thinks they're taking it out on us, giving us stuff we don't need to make themselves feel better about the money they're spending on him. I'm trying to process all this when my wife gets a text from her mom. She's inviting us over for dinner, saying it's important. We go, and it's like walking into a lion's den. They start in on us about being ungrateful, about how we don't appreciate everything they do for us. My father-in-law even brings up the rent, hinting that maybe they should raise it since we're so bad with money. I've had enough. I tell them we're not taking the fridge, and we're going to start looking for our own place. My wife's in tears, but she's nodding along with me. It's like she's finally seeing how controlling they are. But then, my mother-in-law does something unexpected. She breaks down too, apologizes for everything. She says they just wanted to feel needed, to be a part of our lives. It's a mess. We leave with no idea where we stand. My wife's not talking much, and I'm left wondering if I push too hard. But I can't shake the feeling that we're just pawns in some game to them, that they're manipulating us without us even knowing it. Thanks for reading. Am I the idiot for lying about sleeping with my ex? To get even with my partner? We have been together for 8 months now, and out of the blue, she told me this. I felt hurt because before we officially started dating, we did a lot of stuff with each other. The only thing that was left was me asking her to be my girlfriend, and our first time having intimacy, I was the one who didn't want to go further until we were actually dating. I understand that we weren't technically dating, but I still feel like she cheated on me. And 20 minutes after she told me that, I admittedly did something I'm not proud of, and lied that I did the same and slept with my ex before we went official. I'm not sure why I did it. It was in the moment sort of thing. I guess I wanted her to feel what I felt, which I understand now was a wrong thing to do. It's been 2 days and she's not responding to my texts or calls. I want to apologize to her and admit that I lied. I even want to call my ex to clear it up so she would believe me. But part of me is still upset at her for cheating, and now I feel very conflicted. I love her and I don't want to break up, but I don't know how we can move on from this situation. I would appreciate any advice. Update. Sorry for the long delay. I'm in a vastly different time zone and had a lot of things going on. I wanted to clear some things up. We're from a non-Western country, and we have a different culture and mentality here. Hookup culture is not that common. Another thing was about who she slept with. When she first dropped the bomb, she kept saying that it's not important who it was, which made me suspicious. But ultimately, I decided that it didn't really matter who she did it with. It still felt like shoot. As to why I didn't ask her to be my girlfriend sooner, it's mostly because I have sort of a traditional upbringing. Even though I moved away from it as I got older, I still believe that there should be some time between when we first started going out to officially dating. We had 2 dates in total, and at the end of the second date, we sort of gave in to our feelings and did some intimacy stuff. But without going all out because I stopped her, it just didn't feel right to do it so soon. I still really liked her and made sure she knows it. I planned on asking her to be my girlfriend on the next date, which was supposed to happen a week after. She doesn't know my ex. I only mentioned her once, and she didn't even know her name, considering we broke up 4 years ago. For everyone calling her a hypocrite for ignoring me, I understand why you think so, but I personally don't see it that way. I said something that hurt her. I understand that now. She did too. So I think it's part of why she doesn't want to talk to me, because in the end, we would just end up having an argument about it, and maybe she just wants to end it quietly. I sent her a text saying that I did lie about cheating. I don't know if she saw it, but I presume that she did, which might make it even worse if she believes it, considering now she's the only one who cheated and would have to explain herself. The whole situation is a mess, and I hate that it's happening to us. I do love her and really want to see her again. I don't know if I can forgive her, but what I feel for her is too strong to just move on like that. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. It's a double standard. How can she be upset with you when she did the exact same thing? Yeah, maybe she didn't sleep with someone, but she still messed around with another guy. Definitely not cheating. You guys weren't official. She's in the wrong. Don't let her make you feel this is your fault. Comment 2. You need to dump her. She showed you who she is, believe her. Obviously, it is okay if she does it, but not okay if you do it. She will manipulate and drain you and control everything you do. Run away. P.S. Stop lying. Nothing unalives a relationship faster than lying. Now, for the update, thanks for sticking around. So, here's what went down. After days of silence, she finally called. It was late and her voice was shaky. She said we needed to talk and asked to meet at our usual spot, the little park bench where we first held hands. My stomach was in knots, but I agreed. We sat there under the dim streetlight and she started crying. She confessed it was her ex she slept with, the same guy who cheated on her and made her swear off relationships for a year before she met me. I felt like I'd been punched. All this time, I'd been the doormat, and now this? I wanted to scream, but I just sat there numb. She said she was sorry, that it was a mistake, a closure thing, but how could that be closure? It felt like betrayal. And then, she pulled out her phone and showed me a message from him, saying he wanted her back. She told me she said no, that she wanted to be with me. But could I believe her? I wanted to walk away, but I didn't. I just couldn't. Instead, I did something I never thought I'd do. I asked her to prove it, to call him right there and tell him it was over for good. She hesitated, and that hesitation said it all. But she did it. She called him, her voice breaking as she ended things with him. I watched, a mix of satisfaction and disgust churning inside me. The next day, things got even more complicated. I ran into her best friend who didn't know we were on the rocks. She blurted out that my girlfriend had been planning a surprise party for my upcoming birthday, had been planning it for weeks. It hit me then. The effort she'd been putting in, even while all this was going on. It made me question everything. Was I being too harsh? Or was I just being walked over again? I didn't have much time to ponder because the next bomb dropped. My ex, the one I'd lied about sleeping with, showed up out of nowhere. She'd heard through the grapevine about the drama and wanted to clear the air. She told my girlfriend straight up that nothing had happened between us. My girlfriend looked at me, hurt and anger written all over her face. I'd lied and now she knew it. We were both guilty in different ways. We hurt each other, lied to each other, but there we were, facing the mess we'd made. She asked for time to think, and I agreed. It was the least I could do after everything. The aftermath was quiet. Days passed with no word from her. I reflected on everything, the good and the bad. I realized I had to stop letting people walk all over me, but I also had to own up to my mistakes. Then, out of the blue, she showed up at my door. She said she missed me, that she was willing to try if I was. It was a chance to start over, to build something stronger. But it wasn't going to be easy. Trust was broken, and we both knew it would take more than apologies to fix it. We decided to take it slow, to rebuild what we had. It's not perfect, and I'm still learning to stand up for myself. But we're trying, and that's something. Thanks for reading. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.